Hi, this is Monica from Huckleberry Mountain Botanical School of Herbalism, and I'm here with Lindy. I'm sorry, I took over. Can you get us set up on
Yes.
here instead? Hi, Sean. Hi, Shamra. You showed up early. We were a little bit late. Okay, so tonight we're going to be using that onion soup mix that we made last night.
Yeah.
So if you didn't see that, go to our free herbal content or our YouTube channel and pick up that recipe and make this so that you can make this
recipe.
Yeah. I'm going to have Lindy on the stove because we can't have two of us over there. This is going to be heated. It's really, really simple. So you're going to use 8 ounces of cream cheese. Is that an 8 ounce thing?
Yes.
Okay. 8 ounces of cream cheese. And what I'm going to have her do is just slowly heat it and kind of soften it while I'm talking. So the 2 greens that I use, well, actually I use several greens. So I used spinach. I have 1 cup of spinach, and I topped it with about 4 nasturtium leaves and just chopped them up. That adds a little bit of that spice. If you haven't tried nasturtium leaves or flower before, you should do that. It's quite spicy, and if you like horseradish flavor and not quite as spicy as horseradish, but that kind of flavor and that spiciness, then you'll really like nasturtium. In here, I have mallow, which is the common mallow. That's Malva neglecta. That just grows pretty much in neglected areas. And I have those leaves, which are slightly mucilaginous, but not super, like they don't get slimy when you cook them or anything like that. You can treat them just like spinach. And then the other thing that I have here is, what is it? Help me out. Lamb's quarters.
Yes.
Lamb's quarters. So unfortunately, I'm not able to show you a lamb's quarters plant because we're at the end of the season. So all the good ones that are still around that were in areas that we were still watering and things like that, like my herb garden and some of the potted plants in the back, had some really nice non-seedy lamb's quarters, but all the rest of them have gone to seed. They're in kind of these drier areas. Now, that is the kind of plant that may actually appear once again in the fall because it's self-seeding, and sometimes it comes back again, so you can have a second chance at gathering some of that. The leaves are kind of, one of the other other names is goosefoot, and it is kind of shaped like a goosefoot, and it has some powdery white, looks like residue.
Yeah.
And it does wipe off, but you'll recognize it with that because it's got that powdery white, almost silvery
It's
looking.
like dew.
Hi, Katie.
Imagine dew.
What? Like dew. Yeah, kind of, yeah. And it kind of, I don't know, it just looks like powder. So, all right, so we are going to be putting this together. She's heating this up, and now she's going to add a 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. You are welcome to add sour cream if you want to, but just know with the sour cream, you're going to be a little bit thicker. So you may need to add regular whipping cream or milk or whatever you want to do to kind of thin it out so it's not quite so thick. And honestly, our Greek yogurt is fairly thick as well, so it's possible we might need some. Now, I just added 5 tablespoons of that onion soup mix that we made last night.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you can use a packet, but honestly, it's so easy to make your own. I just think that you would be happier making your own and knowing exactly what is in all of the things that you're putting into your food for your family. And like I keep saying, with herbs, the best way to get herbs into your family and into your body is through food. You don't need to be making...
Yeah, so it's like an everyday incorporation rather than taking, tinctures throughout the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but it's a little bit more sustainable, I think, to just learn to incorporate it into your everyday life instead of taking it like it's medicine.
Yeah, and making smoothies that have good powdered herbs in them, or like I said, just using them in food and going out and foraging and bringing that stuff in, and really learning to just give it to your family. Now, we love garlic, so we're putting in 3 cloves of garlic in here. I love that garlic flavor and the benefits that come from the garlic. So I'm going to turn this off. until we get the spinach and the other wild greens in here. I'm behind you. And then she's going to go ahead and put that spinach in there. You can, if you want, blend this all up cold and then put it into a prepared pan, just a small pan, and cook it in the oven at 375 for 20 to 30 minutes. But this is kind of a quick one pot, just really easy, delicious way to do spinach dip. And like I said, incorporate any of the wild greens that you have. So while that is heating, there's 2 more garlic cloves, if you want to get those in there. Okay. I'm going to show you how to cut this to make a really nice serving bowl. No, we didn't make this, but I could have. It's just been too warm, although it's been a very mild summer this year.
Yeah, we're not having serious issues with fires or anything, or smoke.
Yeah, no fires this year, or very few. It's been great. So we're just going to slice the top off. Now we have this nice bottom. Someone said something, but I'm not sure who. I had a red knife.
Kira said the bread looks amazing.
Oh, it smells so good. It's that delicious sourdough. I'm going to be right back. I left my knife. All right. Sorry about that. I'm back. All right, so we're just going to cut a circle. You don't want to go all the way to the bottom, but just cut a nice circle out here. So right before we went live, I sliced my thumb on the yogurt container. It's not like I was using dangerous tools or anything. I was trying to open the lid, and it just slid and sliced it. But I have really nice plantains, so I just went out there and chewed up a plantain leaf, put it on there. It stopped the bleeding, and it kind of helped close it up so I don't infect everybody with my thumb and blood. And then one nice thing, see, I'm not serving this to anyone but my family.
Those containers are sharp.
They are. I don't know what happened. Normally I open it like that, and I just kind of slide it along so we can lift, and yeah, it caught me. It got me really good. Or bad. I don't know if that's good or bad. So I guess good from the container's perspective and bad from mine.
Yeah.
And then you can just kind of keep picking at this until you've decided that you've made a good enough container for your dip.
Yeah, like however much you're making.
Yes. And how is that tasting? We're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there, I think.
Delicious. Do we need to add cream? Spicy.
Maybe. Is it
we
spicy?
added a lot of garlic, so.
Yeah. I think we need some cream. We need to heat it up a little bit more. And what was the other thing I just said? Oh, and some Parmesan. Cheese. Yeah, it might not even need Parmesan. Man, that tastes good.
I don't think it does.
Yeah. So I'm just going to cube these up, because these will be nice to serve with the dip. And as we go along, can we show them? Yeah, go ahead and mix it up. And you want to make sure that you don't want it runny, but you do want it to be spreadable, because you're putting it on bread, or you're serving it with pita chips
or crackers.
There's lots of different ways you can just eat it with a spoon, because it's quite tasty.
Yeah, it is. What do you want me to show them?
Just show them the texture as we get to because that's probably, I would say that's still too thick. And so we're going to thin it out just a little bit more.
It looks disgusting on camera, but it's really not.
It's not disgusting. I'm going to I have my serving platter here. Another benefit for us tonight is that we get to have this as an appetizer before dinner. I think Lindy made chicken cacciatore, so we're going to have that, plus some spinach and lamb's quarters / mallow / nasturtium
yeah.
dip. Yeah, it's going to be quite tasty. All right, so we've got our fancy bowl, which really wasn't that difficult, and the bread around it.
The bread to dip it.
And then this stuff, I would put this in some Italian herbs and olive oil, and bake it up for breadcrumbs. That's what I'm going to end up doing with all of this leftover filling inside, is make some homemade breadcrumbs. That sourdough with the nice herbs and olive oil. It'll be delicious. You could make some breaded chicken or anything like that, especially if you have an air fryer, which I got addicted to. I love my air fryer.
So we're gonna put this in now, right?
Is it thin enough?
I don't know.
I think it needs to thin out a little bit more. Yeah. And you want to serve this hot. It really is better when it's heated. So we're going to put a little bit more cream in here. And you do want it creamy and spreadable.
Yeah, and be able to just scoop it up.
Yeah, scoop it up. Take your bread and just scoop it right out of there. Shamra, did you make the mix last night, the onion soup mix? I think what we need to do, because we just had an herbal meetup yesterday. It was so much fun. And if you're local and you didn't come, please come. These herbal meetups are a really great way to get to know other people who are foraging, wildcrafting, using herbs at home, making stuff, doing things. And, you can find your tribe, your people, just hanging out with other people who are using herbs and talking herbal things. But I think it would be really fun if one of our gatherings, we brought some different herbal dishes. And I do know that a lot of people are allergic to a variety of things, but if we stuck to just try to stay away from dairy, obviously this is filled with dairy, but try to stay away from dairy, I think that would be really, really fun. And whoever is watching this could be doing that, locally for your herbal friends as well, or people that aren't even into herbalism, as a way to introduce them to herbs and how they can bring it into their life in a really simple, super delicious way.
That's what I like it.
All right, let me just, because taste testing is necessary. It needs to heat up a little more. But it's really good. It's delicious. Sorry I'm eating in front of you. Just give it an opportunity to heat without stirring. Okay. And then it's gonna drip off.
I know.
All right. Also, some suggestions with your spinach. If you're using everything fresh, you need to wilt it either through steaming or sauteing. Make sure to get all the moisture out. How I did that is after I finished wilting it and cooking it, I put it in my potato ricer and I squeezed that potato ricer and got all that moisture out. You don't want a bunch of watery stuff in your dip. It's not going to turn out nice.
No, like it got to the point where it was almost crumbly. Like it didn't.
There was no.
Yeah, there was no moisture, and that's what you want.
Yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it, Shamra? Oh yeah, if you we'll go to the free herbal content. You'll be able to see the onion soup mix.
It'll be written out for you.
Yeah, and then the other thing is chop it up. Make sure it's chopped and don't leave it stringy, because that's not fun to eat stringy dip stuff with, stems. You can keep the stems in. I did, but I chopped, and some of the harder stems, obviously take them out, but chop things really small so that they make a nice, scoop and dip in there. All right, so how's that? Is it heated now?
I believe so. You want to keep it on a low temperature so that the dairy doesn't burn and stuff.
I still want it hotter.
Well, every time it does that, starts sizzling.
Just let it sizzle. Ooh. Here, coming in.
Okay.
I'm coming in. That's right. We're making this, heating this up. The one thing I love about cooking, and even cooking with herbs, is that it really it's bringing your own personality, your own family's taste, your own stuff. You're never trapped. It's kind of like any recipe. You can take it and just make it how your family likes it. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in. Although my recommendation is get to know and love garlic, because it's so good for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't like spicy, then you can avoid some of that. If you're allergic to dairy, I don't know that there's any replacement for this. Maybe like soy cheese, but I've never done it with that before. So I have no idea, honestly. All right, so I'm just gonna fill this up. Man, that garlic smells so good. I wish that you guys could smell it through that.
One day.
Yes, maybe.
Technology will get good enough.
And then I picked a little nasturtium flower. So we're gonna put that on top, and some lucky person will be able to eat the nasturtium. And then we have our finished herbal dip. And, you know, we've got all of our wild greens and our spinach, garlic, and our homemade onion soup mix. That's all in there. And it will be delicious. Hi, Cheryl. All right, so I think that is it for tonight. And we're gonna go enjoy this on the back deck with our family right before we have dinner. So join us tomorrow, and I'm not 100% sure what we're making tomorrow. I was gonna try and...
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no
You'll
idea.
see.
Yeah, just come tomorrow. It'll be a surprise, all right? So I look forward to seeing you then. Until then, health and joy.
Bye.